The home of the common Joe and the common Sally in the know, even more so than all those media talking heads.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, USC and TCU, brothers in a fall. It was just going to be about that. But there's been so many other news stories this week about USC that I just got to grill them. From Lincoln Riley's questionable hiring practices to now the USC administration as a whole has become a virtue signaling cowardice version of itself. Let's talk about it. Another great episode of the OCF. That's me, JPC. The OCF stands for Outlaw of College Football. The JPC stands for Jesse Paul Clark on Facebook. JESSE without the I. Also on Twitter at OCF Productions. Also, there's a little heart down here. It says thanks. If you don't mind, hit that. Throw me a few dollars in the coffers. Get me off the YouTube tape. Keep me up and going. Keep me motivated. Now, getting right to it here. All these USC people want me to leave them alone, but like I've told them before, I'm not just going to stop just because you guys try to make it out like, we live rent-free in your head. Because they think I'm an Oklahoma fan because I've done a few Oklahoma videos, but I do all of college football. It just happens that Oklahoma and USC and my team Alabama have been in the news more this year. So that's the thing. If you put yourself in the news, if you put yourself out there, you're either going to get a good podcast done or a bad podcast done. Lots of times it's bad, especially if you put yourself out there in a bad way. Now, I'm trying to do a little USC TCU comparison here. You see, USC and TCU look like they're going around down the same road, and they can both put up points when they need to at times. But then when they get to a big stage, ironically, they both seem exactly alike in that they blow it. USC blew a 15-point lead to an inferior non-Power 5 school in Tulane, and I know the Tulane fans are getting a little aggravated with me with saying that. And Tulane's a good program for where they're at. They are a good program. But they shouldn't be able to score 46 points on a team that is supposed to be a top 10 school. But they did. And then, ironically, Lincoln Riley's brother, Garrett, who's the offensive coordinator for TCU, is on the biggest stage of them all, the national championship game. And what does he do? He blows it. Even more so than Lincoln Riley. And, at least when Lincoln Riley got into the playoffs, he put up a few points. He put up 34 on Alabama. Nick Saban put up 28 on LSU. 63-28, 45-34. At least Lincoln Riley scored some points and made it look decent. Not so much the LSU game. But Garrett, on the biggest stage of his career as an offensive coordinator, put up a measly 7 points, while his defense on the other side gave up 65 points, which goes hand in hand with what Riley brothers seem to be able to do. They can put up points when they need to in games that don't matter as much, but when they get on the big stage, they can't score enough, and their defense is atrocious and embarrassing to the point where everybody makes fun of them. Not just me, everybody. 65 points. 65. Their teams got outscored. What was it? Like 111? 111 to, let's see, they had 45 and they had 7. 111 to 52. Damn. That's awful. Now, also, Lincoln Riley, I've already touched on the fact that, he brought in Brittany Thacker, a lady who's supposed to be some kind of position coach or recruiting coordinator or whatnot, and a lot of their fans are hyping this up as like checkmate, as the USC joke podcaster said, or whatever his name is. And then on top of that, they keep Alex Grinch. Now, granted, it's only been one season. And normally you say, well, hell, you need to give him more than one season, right? Yeah, I agree, but it's not really one season. You see, Alex Grinch has already coached under Lincoln Riley before at Oklahoma, like 2 or 3 years prior. So he's really had 4 years almost with this guy. And you can't see the writing on the wall. And he said in a little comment, I'd hate to be the teams that face Alex next year. Why is that? Tell me, why is that? I mean, why would any offense be scared of a defense that gives up 46 points to Tulane and can't hold a 15-point lead in the final, 7 minutes of the game? Come on now. Hey, and I know. I mean, normally I don't go for first-year firings, but because they've been together for so long, it's pretty obvious. And a lot of USC fans are not happy with Lincoln Riley over this because he just doesn't take it seriously. Now, next year, granted, if if Grinch stinks it up again, Riley will probably fire him. But that's another year that USC is not relevant as far as national championship goes. They almost made the playoffs this year. But had they had, I'm afraid it would have been something like 65-7. Granted, Lincoln's offense probably would have scored at least 21 points. But it still would have been 65-21, right? The final thing. This is the kicker of all things. This ain't even about Lincoln Riley. So y'all be happy about that. It's about the USC administration. They banned the word field from the university. I guess it's the social school, the social studies school, whatever they call it. Banned the word field because they said it brings up connotations of slavery and bad memories for immigrants. I'll be honest with you, man. I've talked to a lot of my USC friends that are honest and unbiased, and I've talked to a lot of my minority buddies, and they about broke their rib laughing about that, man. It's virtue signaling, and most minorities are smart enough to know what y'all are doing. They know that y'all just placating and trying way too hard to present yourself as this concerned society or this concerned clique of people about racism issues. The word field is in a lot of things. You got movies called Field of Dreams. They're going to change it to the word practum or practocious or whatever they call it. So we're going to have Practum Field of Dreams or Practum Dreams now. They're going to rename the movie. Are we going to rename the football fields instead of calling them football fields? Are they going to call them football meadows? We're going to get pictures of a little house in the prairie and a little girl running down in the meadow before the football game. I mean, where does it stop, man? It's just like Stanford. I mean, it's something about the West Coast, man. Once again, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, so don't start slinging that mud my way. I'm an American. That's my party. I'm a real American. Washington and Stanford both put out this edict of words that we can't use. Well, gee, doesn't that sound a little bit like censorship to you? I mean, stuff that y'all fought against so hard and everybody fought against so hard in the 1960s and 1970s, yet y'all out here censoring people and canceling people because they have different opinions. And Stanford wanted to ban the word guru and some other word. I can't remember right now, but it was numerous words. I'll throw up some graphs here off and on. It's just silly, man. I mean, if y'all really want to do something about racism or do something about the plight of people, some minorities and immigrants and even Caucasians, all races have poor people. If you want to do something about that, man, then, start a few soup kitchens, start some work programs that actually work, and try to get people jobs so they can feel good about themselves and feel like they've accomplished something, instead of giving them a handout and let's just tell them that they, just sit at home and don't do anything, because that's what these people want. Some of these people in the governments of these states, that's what they want. They want you to sit at home so that you're dependent upon them, and when they want to control the situation, they got you. You guys and gals, tell me what you think about all this. You think it's crazy or what? I do. And I was reading a little literature the other day out of this Bible, this great leather-back Bible that Tim Gillespie gave me, and I thought this fit me pretty well. And I'm not trying to force religion on anybody, so don't start that crap. Acts 18, verse 9, do not be afraid, but speak, and do not keep silent. But I am with you, and no one will attack you to hurt you, for I have many people in the city. What that tells me is that if I believe something, or if I think it's true in my heart, then I need to speak it. And if people try to attack me and hurt me, I got a big cluster of people in my outlaw city that's got my back. And that's all I got to say about that. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And as always, KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.